Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're looking at a potential very good match and different match from what we have in the current meta. Ragnar in a double tank, is that going to be a thing? I've been testing this personally over the past month, basically since the previous KVK season, right? And honestly, I am a big fan of water match, right? I want to be a little bit different. I want to do something that very few others do, and that's why I try with Ragnar, and potentially we can, swap it out with, instead of have Ethan Shin here, we can have Bjorn, we can have other immortals, but for this video, I'm gonna go with this formation that we have on the screen right here: Ethan Shin, Ragnar, Himiko, and buffet, right? If you have these four immortals and you have a max, I believe that's going to be very good. And I'm also going to be explaining why I pick Ragnar as well. So that being said, let's take a look at the immortals with the skills and specializations for them before we go into the game. Now let's take a look at the double tanks specializations. For both of the tanks, I will run Iron Will. It's the best specialization for tanks in this game, and you can see why I put them here, because basically when you max them out, it decreases damage taken by 25%, which a lot, and also increase resilience rate, which is crazy. And also take a look at the skills here. I have very similar skills on both of them, right? What you can do when you have these skills, you can relocate them on which of the immortals, whatever you want, right? Doesn't really matter which one have, as long as they have it. And for me, for Ragnar, I'll probably go with Heart of Arcana, Weakening Curse, and Energy Shield. Although I have Energy Shield on Ethan Shin, but you can swap around up and down, right? But if you don't want Ragnar, to be honest, it really depends what kind of specialization level these immortals have. The higher specialization level, the less needs for Energy Shield. So for my team, I would probably go with Energy Shield on Ragnar. This is not necessarily, I only do it because my specialization for Ragnar is still pretty low, right? Ethan Shin, I'll probably run with one of the auras and like weakness or potentially master ages, right? The reason why you remove weakness, I'm gonna explain a little bit later in this video, because that have to do with Himiko, right? And you probably want to run with energy suppression here. You want to run with noise escape if you don't run that already on Ragnar. For Ragnar, I'm probably going to run with the most simple one. So I'm going to show you guys the build I have in the game later, so you don't worry about that. So yeah, let's take a look at the backline and see what kind of skills and specialization I use for that as well. Now let's take a look at the backline specialization. We have Storm Eye Spell on Himiko, and we have Divine Blessing on Buffet. The reason why I explained earlier about the weakness aura on the frontline attackers, or sorry, frontline tanks, is because Himiko, after changing the specialization to the crit one, which is Storm Eye Spell, increase crit by 30% and then damage to 55 or 60%, something like that, right? And that makes you able to not use weakness aura, because the extra crit percentage, crit rate you get is from these specializations. So you can basically remove that and replace it with, for example, Master Aegis for your frontline tanks. So I'm going to show you guys the idea later in this video as well, so you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So for the skill wise, if you can afford, or not can afford, but if you want to go down the route with legendary skills, I would recommend you guys to pick up Energy Mastery first before Infinite Firepower. Both of them combined is very good with the corrosive power. That's what I'm aiming for. And of course, if you have Silent Tide, it can't go with Energy Mastery, because that would be super broken, right? But the skills specify that you can't use them with each other, so that's an option that you can do. If you don't have Energy Mastery, you can use Corrosive Power, Silent Tide, and Infinite Firepower. And if you don't have Infinite Firepower, you can definitely go with Concentration. And if you want to go with a little bit different route, a longer route, more tanky route. You can go with Armageddon as well. You're gonna be doing good with the crit damage that you can get from triggering skills because of the specializations. And now we have the support with Divine Blessing, Ufei, very good. We have the normal standard skills. Here I have some auras, I have some healing, I have Master Aegis, Arcana. If you don't have that on your front line, you don't really need that for backline, right? Because normally a lot of people are running with the life protections, running with assist, running with fighting master, and some of them running with soul synergy, right? Really depends, but for me, I would probably run with, but since I don't have life protection yet, which I will try to get it soon, I would probably go with alongside of assist, fighting master, and then one of the auras, right? That is kind of like my type of thing before I get all the skills. But if you have all the high-end skills, you probably want to be looking at something else, right? So yeah, that being said, let's take a look in the game and see some reports, and I can talk a little bit more about my idea behind this watch. So now we are in the game. Let's take a look at the modules that I currently use as my main, and the reason why I made this video is because to highlight Ragnar a little bit, because I want to be a little bit different than everybody else. Not completely different, but different enough that I can use different immortals, because I'm the one person that getting tired of seeing people having the same teams all over the place, right? And the previous KVK, suddenly out of nowhere, everybody was running double tank with Björn, right? That is super strong, and it was one of the very best defensive tank team you have in this game. But I want to try something else. I want to be, a little bit more offensive, a little bit more, attacking minded with a double tank. And potentially in the future, I would like to have father-son combo with, having Bjorn here instead of Shin. And then we have Ragnar, we have Himiko, we have a Fire Drake, possibly might be happening. That's what I'm trying to do in the future, right? So I will probably be making video about this in a month, where when I get more fragments and higher level of specializations. But for now, I think this one is really good and really strong, very niche. It loses sometimes, but it do perform very well consistently as well. And Himiko is gonna do what Himiko does, basically do more damage and carry. And of course, I will show you guys in another video potentially in the future about the changes I will make, or the next change I'm gonna make. But for this, I think Ragnar is doing very good, and the reason why I picked Ragnar up and choose to use him in my double tank is because of his skill, and of course the extra increased magical damage taken will make Master Aegis, the new skills that is in the recharge pack right now currently, become quite useless, right? Now that I have both, Heart of Arcana, and then I have the Frostbite Blow that increases with basically 65%, right? That magical damage increase. And Himiko being carried as very helpful, and even if you have Master Aegis, right, it will only go to 25%, so I'm still gonna do 40%, and I think that is really strong. Potentially the reason why, I mentioned earlier, I want to switch out Shin with Björn to get increase extra damage taken as well, right, by 20%. So now we're looking at around 60% increased damage, even though if you have Master Aegis skill. So that's just my plan behind it, and for me it looks very good, right? So take a look at some of the reports. Here I have Yuki, one of my friends in the game. He was attacking me, right? And you can see that this is like potential, like maxed out, right? Where how good it actually is. And in my opinion, it looks very good. 30 seconds for a double tank with only one damage dealer as a mage. Of course, it has to do something with the skills here as well. If I had max, I would probably do it even better, but I'm still very happy. Sometimes though, I can still lose, but I'm still gonna do a lot of damage, right? So I can still lose if, for example, Himiko dies early, or Fufei dies early, or one of the tanks here die early. It would be a lot of difference, right? So you might want to, wait until you have higher specializations, because for me, I only have Ragnar specialization level 3, but I think it will be better once I reach level 5, level 6, right? That can be a thing. And you see here, it's performing well, not too bad. This is Mirage main. I can do really good damage in attack as well, which in my opinion is more impressive when it comes to double tanks than, being a defense, because defense in this game is very, very strong no matter what. So the fact that you can, attack and actually win, in my opinion, is very good. Here, Purple Moon, the one I struggle a lot against, and I was managed to win against him as well with his main. So you can see only Himiko left. So I, with him, is like 50-50, right? Because I also lose to this much, and sometimes, or most of the time, you're probably going to be performing well, right? Most of the time, especially if you have the skill set that I use, it will perform, but also keep in mind you want to have specializations of these immortals pretty high, right? I have level 8 for Isenshin, level 8 for Himiko, level 4 for Fufei, and also very low on Ragnar, level 3, right? So I'm looking to try and get his fragments to go to level 7 or level 6, and then we can potentially find out his potential. And also, artifact being very low is one of the issue as well, so I'm working on that slowly. And also I'm working on Björn, so I can flex into the mod as well, so I can use like a father-son combo that I used to talk about in the server. I want to be able to use father-son combo with Himiko, and potentially I've been talking to some people about this for a while. I've tested out a little bit. I don't know how this is going to be, but I want to remove Himiko and then replace Himiko with Merlin, right? That is something that I want to work on for the future, because I think Merlin has unlocked, or not seen potential yet, but I want to unlock it and show it to you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it about the double tank with Ragnar. I'm a huge fan of Ragnar. I'm a huge fan of Water Team in general, but Ragnar, in my opinion, is one of my favorite immortal, and one of my first, immortal that I actually spent money on when I was, before I became PO, right? And that was like season 2 or season 3 a couple of years ago, and I still like his character. His skill is very good, and I love it. So I want to bring him back for this mod, and I've been using this mod for a while. I show you guys some test results already and some reports. I'm excited to test it in KVK against other mods as well from other servers. So I will be sharing the reports later. So yeah, thanks you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, because I've been working on this for a couple weeks now and testing, and so far, in my opinion, it looks good. Is it gonna be like broken or something else? I'm just making a new mod or new potential mods as an option, as so we don't only have one generic mod that everybody goes after, and we're gonna be fighting the same mod, basically same skills, same mods over and over, right? So I want to build it different, make something different. Although it's just a minor change, but it's still a change. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.